we go, Scott Sloan. It's Tuesday morning, 700 WLW. All right, a little bit more detail here in what the president's proposal is regarding executive action and guns. Kind of narrowed it down. I thought it might be like, going after the gun, the title, it's got to be the gun shows. Every time you have a gun show, you get these crazy people to show up and shoot everyone. And, of course, if you look at the criminal records, generally, I don't ever recall hearing a story or having a report on a story that dealt with a mass shooting at a gun show. Wonder why that is. ATF says they're going to now determine who's engaged in the business of selling firearms under federal law. And according to a conference call, again, it's what you want to make of what they said during the conference call, because the genius will be in the details. And it's possible that if you sell or transfer as many as, ready for this one, 1 or 2 firearms, you may be required to get a federal firearms license through the ATF. Joining me on 700 WLW is Michele Byington, Michele with 1 L. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
You never called Michele with 1 L before?
I have been called Michele with 1 L.
All right, Michele with 1 L. What's up?
Hey, just hanging out.
All right, I got you.
Talk to you.
Yeah, it's the highlight of your week, probably. So you've dealt with this, too. Now, again, Michele with 1 L on the show this morning on 700 WLW. You are an expert when it comes to the National Firearms Act, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, et cetera, and you've done a lot of these federal firearms transfer acts. I guess the big thing here is before collectively a lot of people, and predictably and rightly so, a little right-leaning here, before we get our collective panties in a bunch here, let's face it, it's going to take money from Congress to do a lot of this stuff. I don't really see the United States Congress wanting to back this executive order through funding it.
Well, we've already seen that Congress does not want to back this.
Right.
They've already refused to act when it comes to passing stricter gun laws. So what Barack Obama now is doing is defying Congress, which is thus defying the American people, and putting pen to paper just to make himself, I guess, look good in front of his constituents who want this sort of law in the books.
No, I think he might be setting up Hillary, who's clearly the front runner here, because it seems to me that she wants even more drastic measures than what he's proposing. This just puts a little cheese on the cracker for her, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it absolutely helps her campaign for sure in her talking points, yeah.
Yeah, it keeps it fresh and relevant, and she said, I'm going to do more than that. Here's what I want to... She basically wants all the guns to go away. But nonetheless, the merits of this thing, when it comes to private sales and questioned by POTUS, he didn't mention gun shows in particular. One of the two things that came up, oddly enough, were flea markets and buying them online. Let's start with the most obvious one here. Aren't online sellers already federal firearms licensees holders?
Most of them are. That's correct. So when they go touting this law is going to have this, huge effect, it really isn't. So like you said, they're going after individuals who want to transfer 1 or 2 guns at kind of like central marketplaces, whether it be a gun show or a flea market or classifieds or the internet. So what this means is you could be walking around your local gun show, see your neighbor you've seen of 20 years, say, hey, I've got this great Glock 17 for sale. Do you want to buy it? Yeah. Well, that sort of transfer right now does not require a background check. It's these sort of small transfers that they're going after. And what the practical effect is going to have is really none, except more government oversight on these tiny transfers.
Yeah, and if you look at the percentage of people who get their guns through a gun show that commit crimes, violent felons and the like, isn't it less than like 1%?
Oh, it's like 0.01%.
Yeah, it's hardly anyone. And so, how come these guys are never called on that, though? It never seems like, I hear stuff, and they don't really look for reaction from the NRA. When I hear lawmakers on the right side of the aisle, fight back, they never bring up the statistics. People like maybe me and you and Reason and people like that, but why are lawmakers so incompetent at fighting back at these obviously attempts at pandering to their electorate?
That is the million-dollar question, and I yell at the TV every time that I see this sort of rhetoric, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But you're right. I believe the president is going to be at a town hall that's going to be hosted by Anderson Cooper. He's going into friendly territory. He's not going to go into an arena that's going to bring in some logic and common sense, because he's going to get called out on it.
Right. And Michele, with one L, you're particularly smart. You have your Juris Doctorate from the South College, Texas of Law. You work for U.S. Law Shield. And how these things work is this. The president goes, all right, I want to have a town hall meeting. I want to get my rhetoric out there regarding this executive action. I'm going to pitch it to CNN. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come on for an hour with you. We're going to have a bunch of hand-picked citizens. Maybe there's a couple people who are kind of like the old Hannity and Combs show. You know, you got Sean Hannity made to look smarter by a particular incompetent Alan Combs. And so in this, the roles are reversed. So maybe you've got a couple of panelists in there who are a little pro-right, pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment, and but not particularly too adept at fighting, which is fine. Then you get Anderson Cooper. The press questions are all pre-approved by the White House, or they even set the agenda, and it's good for the ratings, the revenue, and CNN. But it's hardly objective. It's hardly a town hall meeting. It's hardly an open dialogue.
Exactly. This is a scripted event that is going to further his own agenda. It's not going to be a fair debate. It's not going to be a good debate. It's going to be a boring, rah-rah town hall, my side should win because of X, Y, Z, and everything is going to be scripted. Even those who are going to seem to be pro-gun and from the right, their questions are going to be highly vetted. They're going to be softballs, and it's going to be something that he will be able to easily answer and rebut.
Yeah, you're not going to embarrass the president on national television. It's not going to happen. You know, conversely, this would be like the NRA having a town hall on guns on Fox News.
Exactly.